Good morning. Happy Easter. I'm so glad to see you all. You here in the sanctuary, you online. Welcome to Unity in Lynnwood in this time of quiet meditation. So I'd invite you to take some deep breaths. Be here now. Let go of the busyness, the racing thoughts, the distractions. Be in your body. Listen to your heart. As we reflect on the meaning of Easter in our own lives, may this be a time of transformation. May we awaken to deeper compassion as we enter into this silence. And gently, gently bring yourself back to this room, to your chair, to where you are. May we remember the transformational power of compassion with each other and ourselves. And so it is. Amen. Matthew, to the Easter choir, to all the helpers, to all of you who contribute so much and beam your bright light on this congregation, whether you're virtual or right here now. Thank you for being examples of the loving light. Okay. Amen.
At this table, everyone is welcome. At this table, everyone is seen. At this table, everybody matters. No one falls between. At this table, you can say whatever. At this table, you can speak your mind. At this table, everything's forgiven. There's enough for everyone. So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Yes, come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come as you are. At this table, there will be no judgment. At this table, mercy has a seat. At this table, we're all sons and daughters. There's no place I'd rather be. So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Yes, come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come as you are.
Today, on this Easter Sunday, we recognize the culmination of this Holy Week, a time of overcoming and renewal, a grand celebration of new life emerging beyond circumstances. Let's take a breath together and consider closing your outer eyes, even as we open our inner vision. I invite you to allow my words to be yours during this time of reflection. Today, I recognize our source of life. God is the one that is the one power, the one life. Today, I know I am one with that source of life. I am a spark from the flame. I am that I am. Even as the creator source within me expresses as me, I naturally express into this life. I am the hands and the feet of divine life. I live, I move, and I revel in love's presence. I am love expanding. I am love unfolding. As I awake from a time of sleep, as I emerge from any darkness, love lights my path ahead. Infinite wisdom makes my way clear, and I know I am not alone. I rest assured in the promise of new life. And so it is.
So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Yes, come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come. Table, everybody cares. At this table, everybody matters. So come, pull up a chair. Good morning and happy Easter, Unity in Lynnwood. It doesn't look like spring outside, but it does in here. You look amazing. If you'll stand as you're able and greet one another while respecting sticker colors. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright.
Good morning and welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. We are so very glad that you are here on this Easter Sunday. Today we are reminded that no matter what we are going through, there comes a time to rise. While our human experiences likely come with complex challenges, and we've all had our fair share of heartaches, we also know that we live in a world of new beginnings, of fresh starts, of emerging possibilities. In the words of the poet Maya Angelou, just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Here at Unity, we want you to know that no matter who you are, or what you've been through, or what you might be going through today, you have come to a place of welcome. You can rest assured that we are not here to convert or cajole you from any one thing to any other one thing. We are simply here to lovingly invite you into your next steps of becoming. This is a community of open acceptance. This is a place of enthusiastic welcome. And we know that love is surely love. And we invite you to be you. Welcome to Unity.
Will you give a warm greeting to our UIL Easter Choir? They've worked hard. Now my hands do your work. lips speak your truth. Now my life is the image of your love, Spirit, Spirit in me. Now my voice sings your song. Now my heart is at peace. Now my soul is the laughter of a child, Spirit, Spirit in me. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
I told the choir, I said, look interested and smile. I kind of want to feel the same way about, look interested and smile. We're having fun.
Now my hands do your work. Now my lips speak your truth. Now my life is the image of your love, Spirit, Spirit in me. Spirit in me. Spirit in me.
All right. You look good. Happy Easter. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. If you are a member of our virtual sanctuary this morning, we welcome you as well. Please consider offering your first name, identifying your geography. Allow our social media host, Callee, to welcome you. Please and thank you. Unity in Lynnwood is proud to relaunch our flower dedication program. If you would like to dedicate flowers on any given Sunday to the life's moment of your choice, simply visit the gift shop. Marion would be happy to walk you through the process. Deb Van W. in sunny South Jersey, Meredith, Ursula, Dale, Karen Breen, James, Lori, Crane. If you're a member of our physical sanctuary this morning, would you welcome those in our virtual sanctuary by turning perhaps to this camera and saying, "We see you. We see the truth of you. We see the highest possibility of you. We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you. Oh, my goodness. If you would like to pray with someone following the conclusion of this time together, and you're a member of our physical sanctuary, please meet a chaplain in this general geography, that you might anticipate the noble soul. May I ask those chaplains in service to you today to raise a hand or to stand, please. And if you're a member of our virtual sanctuary this morning and you desire to pray with someone following the conclusion of this time together, start the process by writing prayer@unityinlynnwood.org. Include a working telephone number. Expect a call within a couple hours. Practical spirituality, welcoming community, a mission statement that is short in word, but so expansive in meaning. And so it is that every week I like to remind myself of how this might be brought into greater realization in me with one of the sentences which we developed with your Board of Trustees in late 2014. I invite you to eavesdrop then on my reminding myself of the following. We welcome people. Whew, that's enough. We welcome people from all spiritual traditions or from no spiritual tradition whatsoever into every activity of our community. How do you like that? Does that include me? You might hear rising, and the answer is yes. It includes you. Words of invocation, allow them to have their way with you by closing your eyes or whisper along or read enthusiastically. We begin with words that read as follows: though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. I begin today, as I begin every year, by reminding this noble audience that it was about 1,000 years after what today's Christians call that first Easter, that the idea of substitutionary sacrifice, or the idea that Jesus died for human error, took form in writing. The earliest followers of the way, you do understand that the term Christianity does not appear in your Judeo-Christian library. The earliest followers of the way would not have related to such a notion at all. Even the suggestion that Jesus gave his life as ransom for many is best understood to say that his vision of a kingdom marked by equality, inclusion, peace, plenty, justice, not just for the few, but for the multitudes, quite simply, was not for sale, not at any price. So maybe this alone is what someone showed up or tuned in to get today. If you join us carrying decades of guilt because Jesus died for something you did wrong, allow this to be the very moment in which that psychic burden is cast into the winds of new understanding. You, my friends, are free. You are free, you are free, you are free. Happy Easter. Now, as many of us have explored over the past week, Christianity's Holy Week started with two processions that entered Jerusalem on a spring day in the year 30 or so. The collision of a royal procession led by Pilate, rooted in imperial supremacy and bloody violence, with a peasant procession led by Jesus and rooted in universal equality, unconditional love, these inaugurated Christianity's first Holy Week as the epic climax to over 1,000 years of escalation. In other words, Christianity's Holy Week started with tension. It started with something of an old way of being colliding with something of a new way of being, we might say. Now, on Monday, Jesus cursed the fig tree, drove the buyers and sellers from the temple, overturned the tables of the money changers, while saying, "Is it not written that my house shall be called a house of prayer for all the nations?" I think we can say that Jesus was emphatic, impassioned, irritated, cranky. Can we go that far? I think we can. We might say Christianity's Holy Week started with tension and continued with decision. Holy Week continued with that moment in which that old way of being was quite simply no longer acceptable to Jesus. On Tuesday, according to at least one of the accounts, he participated in an ongoing game of trap, escape, and counterattack with the authorities. Well, should we pay taxes to Caesar? Someone shouted, to which his yes would have alienated his peasant audience, and to which his no would have legitimized his persecutor. So there's the trap, you see. There's the trap. And he responded, well, tell you what, give Caesar that which is Caesar's, and give God that which is God's. And there's the escape, you see, because it was well understood by him and by many of his contemporaries that everything belonged to God. So should we pay taxes to Caesar? And he cleverly answered, well, let's give Caesar everything Caesar deserves. And there's the counterattack. So from the tension of Sunday and the decision of Monday, our epic presents us with a Tuesday marked by resistance. And can't we always count on the emergence of a new way to be met by resistance from the old way? Whether within entire cultures or individual minds, I know it can't possibly be true, but it does seem that every time I start a diet, pizza goes on sale. On Wednesday, an unnamed woman poured expensive ointment over his head. This was a burial ritual, you understand. An unnamed woman poured expensive ointment over his head and received a stunning accolade when he said, wherever the good news is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in remembrance of her. For the many who had heard the prophecies of his death and his resurrection, she, you see, was the first one to believe him. And this shouldn't fall upon your ears as surprising, for the women were integral from the beginning of his ministry. And even today, we suffer the effects of pretending they weren't. Now, there I thought the women would clap. I don't know. There you go. Shows you what I know. So for the writer of the gospel named Mark, This woman is the first believer. For even more, she is considered to be the first Christian. So from Sunday's tension through Monday's decision and Tuesday's resistance, we find our Jesus narrative acknowledging the importance of finding another who would believe in his ministry, finding another who would believe in his wisdom, finding another who would believe in his vision. From tension through decision and resistance, our narrative acknowledges the importance of cultivating support, you see. Thursday was marked by the Last Supper, prayers in Gethsemane, Peter's 3 denials, the arrest, the interrogation, the condemnation. And so while Thursday easily could have been themed as betrayal or fear or disappointment, I have chosen to suggest that it's commitment that best describes Thursday's Jesus. Standing upon that threshold between all that had been and all that would be, and choosing to step across that point of no return nonetheless. You see, by Thursday, he knew he would die. At least theoretically, he could have left the festival and lived to fight another day. He could have turned back. He could have backed out. But he didn't. He didn't. And so it was that on Friday, Jesus was delivered to Pilate's soldiers. He was tortured, humiliated, even undergoing something of a mock coronation in which they clothed him in a purple cloak and crowned him with, of course, thorns. He was crucified. This is a form of public terrorism that was reserved for those who denied imperial authority, and he was buried. From Sunday's account, we read the following. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Salome brought spices that they might go and anoint him. When they looked up, they saw that the stone had already been rolled back. Personally, I do not understand why the stone didn't become more of a central symbol of the Easter triumph, but I digress. Now, as I have suggested for so many years, prior to what we call the Enlightenment, the truths of a tale were never perceived to be dependent upon the facts of a tale. And this is certainly true of the culture from which this narrative arose. In other words, it would have been well understood in both Jewish and early Christian cultures that 40 meant something beyond 40, that regaining sight meant something beyond regaining sight, that dragons and beasts and horsemen meant something beyond dragons and beasts and horsemen. So while our modern loyalty to facts might stomp its feet and demand, was there really a whale and a giant and an ark and a leper and 7 horses? And can women really turn into salt? An informed loyalty to truth stands in resolve and simply answers, it does not matter. It simply doesn't matter, because an informed loyalty to truth understands that the spiritual value of these stories is neither inflated nor deflated by their facts. There are universal stories that are particularized by noble souls. There are universal stories that are particularized by noble souls, such as Dorothy from Oz and Frodo from the Shire, Rocky from Philadelphia, and absolutely Jesus of Nazareth alike. And because the stories are universal, it doesn't matter whether the noble souls who particularize them are real or not. It doesn't matter because there's something within us that recognizes and relates to truth, regardless of the factuality or non-factuality of the messenger. So while this Easter can be considered an historical story about Jesus, and we welcome you this morning. I have never sought to take that from anyone. I would ask us to consider Easter as a universal story about what it means to be evolving, unfolding souls trying to figure out this thing we call a human incarnation. I would ask us to consider Easter as a universal story that tells each of us that as evolving, unfolding souls, we will ultimately stumble upon points of tension in our lives. It's the story common to every addict who has finally reached bottom, every abusee who has finally had enough, every visionary who has discovered a dream. An old way will collide with a new way. I would ask us to consider Easter as a universal story that tells each of us here today that as evolving, unfolding souls, we will ultimately have to upset the tables of the money changers, of the way things have been for far too long. We will come upon points in our lives at which we will have to challenge the stale status quo, whether within or without. That stale status quo that thrives on the known and the knowable, that stale status quo that would hold us in that abyss between enough pain to step away and enough passion to step out. We will reach the very edges of the only lives we've known and draw lines in the sands of consciousness, as if to say, I may not know which direction is next, but I know it is no longer this direction. I would ask each of us to consider Easter as a universal story that tells each of us that as evolving, unfolding souls, we will do well to cultivate the support of souls who can believe. Dorothy needed a lion. Frodo needed a Sam. Rocky needed an Adrian. Jesus needed that woman. We will ultimately have to cultivate the support of souls willing to share the weight of whatever it is that's rising within us. Have you surrounded yourself? Oh, here he goes with a question. Have you surrounded yourself with souls who can understand you? Souls who can affirm you? Souls who can love you? I hope so. There might be some around you right now. That's why we have prayer chaplains, you see. Every Sunday offers the opportunity for you to be anointed by one who believes in you. I would ask us to consider Easter as a universal story that tells each of us that as evolving, unfolding souls, we will ultimately have to stand upon the threshold between all that has been and all that will be, and recognize that the choice is no longer both and. It has become either or. We will ultimately have to decide whether we will retreat to the comforts of the remembered past or step into the unknowables of the imagined future. We will ultimately have to make a commitment. You understand. This is true in consciousness, this is true in relationships, and this is true in communities such as this one. We will ultimately have to stand upon the threshold between all that has been and all that will be, and decide whether we will retreat to the comforts of the remembered past or step into the unknowables of the imagined future. Today, we celebrate 20 years in this beautiful facility. Now, I imagine those who were here 20 years ago, a handful of families really, can relate to that moment of commitment. The first mortgage payment on their beautiful new building would be $12,000. You understand. But that handful of families stepped across that threshold nonetheless. They demonstrated that faithful commitment. And with grateful hearts, here we are today, sitting under the roof they built. If you were among that handful, he's embarrassing me now. If you were among that handful of families who remember that first Sunday 20 years past, we would like to acknowledge you with a round of applause. Would you please stand? In the end, I would ask us to consider Easter as a universal story that tells each of us that as evolving, unfolding souls, we will ultimately have to release all that has been for all that will be. We will ultimately have to, in the way set forth by Jesus of Nazareth himself, die to the old that we might be born into the new. So absolutely, this is Jesus' story, but I don't think Jesus walked his walk to show us how special he was. He didn't walk his walk to show us what was possible for him. Jesus walked his walk to show us what is possible for us. Holy Week details a universal journey from tension and decision, resistance, support, commitment, and yes, sacrifice into that symbolic Saturday, into that cosmic breath, that vulnerable void, that valley, if you will, between the life that is no longer and the life that is not yet, to the victory that is represented by this day, by Easter Sunday. So, if your inner world is colliding, I say give thanks. New life is assured. If you're tossing tables or finding resistance, give thanks. New life is assured. If you are stepping forth or letting go, I say give thanks, because new life is assured. And if you're walking a dark valley, I say give thanks, for new life is assured. It is tempting to believe that we are to become a people of the resurrection. I think the message of Holy Week is that we are to become a people of life, a people carved broad enough and deep enough that we can hold the entirety of life, its resurrections and its crucifixions and everything in between, with equal grace. Comforted by the promise that the palms of victory have been laid before us since the beginning of our journeys. Take a deep breath with me. If you're comfortable doing so, close that outer eye. The palms of victory have been laid before me. New life is assured. This is the affirmation we carry into our week then. The palms of victory have been laid before me. New life is assured. The palms of victory have been laid before me. New life is assured.
Rise Bacon. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Are we having fun? There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Christ has no body now but yours, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes through which he looks, compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which he walks to do good. Yours are the hands with which he blesses all the world. Yours are the hands, yours are the feet, yours are the eyes, you are his body. Christ has no body now but yours, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes through which he looks, compassion on this world. Christ has no body now on earth but yours.
Thank you, choir. Beautiful. Thank you, Matthew. Nice work. Well done. Musicians. Thank you, Dr. Richard, for your words. And thank you, Tech, for this beautiful slideshow. Well done. As a regular human practice, boom, and an intentional spiritual practice, we all participate in the flow of giving and receiving. During our lives, we are channels for this flow. As we receive, we also have the chance to give. And as we give, we also have the chance to receive. It's all in circulation. We want you to know how very grateful we are for all the gifts you give in support of this community. Each act of your giving, in all the ways that you are called to give, makes a profound difference here at UIL. And we also know that each act of giving makes a profound difference in our own lives. UIL is sustained by our financial gifts, and giving options appear on the screen. And for those of you providing a physical offering here today, the ushers will gratefully pass baskets. If you're curious to learn more about the spiritual practice of giving, or would like more information about UIL's programs of regular giving, planned giving, or legacy giving, please grab a Giver's Circle brochure from the Welcome Center, or write Dr. Richard directly. We are deeply grateful for all the gifts given today. And for those who are already participating in our Giver's Circle program, we extend a special thank you. Please join me in our affirmation as it appears on the screen. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
You sound good. We love our Sunday mornings here, and on a day like today, it's easy to be grateful for this place, this community, and the spiritual practice and experience of our Sunday morning services. And of course, we also offer a variety of other events and community activities throughout every week, all designed to meet us right where we are and help us remember who we are and who we are becoming. Every offering at Unity in Lynnwood is intentionally created with you in mind, supporting you on your life journey. I want to draw attention to the chairback resources in front of you and call special attention to the Stay in Touch card. It's here somewhere. There it is. Oh, This one doesn't have, well, someone must have used it to stay in touch. Good going, them. All right, you might have one. If you give us your contact information, that will essentially prompt us to send you a couple times each month our e-newsletter enlightenments. That will keep you posted on all the things happening here at UIL, as well as provide some inspiration for you. I also invite you to come say hi to me at the back of the sanctuary following the service at our Welcome Center. And you can pick up a wide array of UIL resources and materials to keep you informed and inspired, including a welcome gift for those of you who are new or newer. This is a special edition of the Daily Word. And for nearly 100 years, Unity Worldwide Publication has offered daily messages to lift you up. And you can take it from me. Good coffee and the Daily Word in the morning is a great way to start any day. Subscriptions are available in our Soul Things gift shop. And every Sunday, we like to say hello to anyone who might be visiting us for the first time. If you just put your hand in the air, we'll give you some applause. Anyone here for the first time? Hello, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. Welcome. We are available to you. And you are invited after the service to come join us in Friendship Hall. I'll tell you a little bit more about the details about that in just a minute. I'd like to highlight several of our upcoming events for you. And you can see those on the screen. And you can see what calls to you and what sparks your interest. And for all of our events, we invite you to please register at unityinlynnwood.org. You essentially go to the website, open the calendar page, click on the event, and that opens a sign-up form. You put your information in there, click submit, and then you get a confirmation email that you're all signed up for your event. Easy as that. Wednesday practice. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. in this sanctuary, we have it reserved for you, providing you a time and place for a quiet spiritual practice of your choice. Come and enjoy a midweek refresh. Small group ministries, several offerings. And for anyone wanting to let off some steam and learn a valuable skill and enjoy a great meal together, all at the same event, UIL Social Group presents axe throwing and dinner at Emery's. Saturday, April 22nd, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The axe throwing cost is $20 per person and payable at the venue. Be careful with that one. UIL's men's group presents Work, Pray, Eat on Saturday, April 29th at 8:30 a.m. I'm not sure if any axes will be there, but maybe one will prepare us for the other. We'll build community through a shared group project, spiritual communion, and then fire up the grill for a relaxing barbecue brunch. Bring your lawn chair, work gloves, and an open heart for a special time together. This will be fun, and there's no cost for this event, and all are welcome. And special thanks today to our crew for our shuttle launch. Driver Glenn and Ambassador Ying Shan got us here in style today. If you parked at Fred Meyer, thank you for your giving the gift of your parking space today. And please note that the last call for a return trip to Fred Meyer is at 12:30 today after the service. And in Friendship Hall today, if you are new or if you're not new, everybody here is invited to the Big Hat Brunch. Seating and food will be available on a first-come basis. Special thanks to volunteer chefs for the morning, Gail, Matthew, Elizabeth, Karen, Tori, and Barbara. Let's give them a hand. And finally, save the date for Wholeness class, Tuesdays in May at 7 p.m. Simply stated and scientifically reinforced, we assert the capacity of our inner worlds to impact the quality of our physical expression.
You are the highlight of my week, for the gift, yet again, of basking in the depths of you. I simply say thank you. I say thank you. I say thank you. We celebrated today something of our legacy. We acknowledge that we are enjoying chairs that have been richly provided by those who have come before. At the same time, I would encourage you to entertain the bold words that say we are a community of intentional welcome. We will open our circles to you and welcome you in. We will invite you to join our conversation. What is the legacy that today's Unity in Lynnwood will leave for those yet to come? We'll have that conversation with you, with you, with you, with you, with you. Unity says that you have 12, 2 plus 10, which is 12. That you have 12 powers, okay? 12 inherent capacities or capabilities. I want to alert you that next week I have been invited by Unity Worldwide Ministries to present a talk on one of those 12 powers as it relates to ecology. What you might know is that our center was one of the very first centers to achieve what is called Level 3 in Unity Worldwide Ministries' Earth Care program. So, absolutely, to be celebrated. So next week, I will speak to you about our planet, about the life that we share upon it, and about the power of renunciation or elimination. It's one of my two favorite powers. Elimination and imagination, my two favorites. So thank you in advance for your understanding. Be part of an audience that will span the globe on ecology and renunciation. Take a deep breath. Let's close those outer eyes. Let's close with that same discipline with which we open. Let's close with that discipline which we choose to call prayer. It certainly matters not what we call it. At times, I prefer to call it a time of elevation, a time of elevation. So we close the eyes. We allow the physicality of us to become comfortable in whatever way suits us. We of our egoic selves come into the bold knowing that we don't have to force, we don't have to push, make happen, coerce, bargain, beg, beseech. We simply need to become available to that which knows what it's doing as us.
I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil.
Hearts then that we carry forth into the remainder of our days, into the remainder of our weeks. And we close this time of remembering, as we always do, with sung words of blessing, with sung words of farewell.
May the long time sun shine upon you. Surround you, and the pure